7:48, let's go through the papers this morning, should we, with the husband and wife extraordinaire couple, our senior political commentator, Nigel Nelson, and former government advisor, Ms Claire Pearsall. Good morning.
Good morning.
Right, Nigel, let's kick off with the front of the mirror, should we?
Yes, I mean, this is a good one because it's about actually keeping people safe. It's a new law, and it's called Martin's Law, named after one of the victims of the Manchester Arena bomb, which killed 22 back in 2017. And his mother's been campaigning for the last 5 years to get this law brought in. She suddenly sort of revamped it because of what happened in Moscow, which was so horrific last week. And the kind of thing she wants, which is actually makes sense, counter-terror training for venue staff, risk analysis by bosses, something that MI5 could help with, metal detectors when people go in and out. And certainly, I mean, things like the training for venue staff, things really useful. I've just done some counter-terror training, and you'd learn little things like if you find a suspicious package, don't phone the police on your mobile within 15 metres of it.
Yeah.
It almost seems obvious, but I didn't know that. But things like that could actually be useful. Government are consulting on this. Consultation is just ending, so it looks like this will come in.
It's a win-win, this one, actually.
Yeah. It is. I mean, you can take any politics out of it. I think this is sensible. This is the safety of individuals. And it's quite interesting when you say about counter-terrorism training for venue staff. Parish councils have also been through this with hiring out of things like village halls. And I think that I probably took the view that that was not very necessary for a village hall, but it is. Of course it is. It's very sensible. Things like that, a suspicious package, it could be in any small area, large area, and I think that's brilliant. I think if staff are trained in this, then we're all going to benefit for the safety.
Yeah, you can't lose on that one.
Claire, the message is go easy on German beer.
Ah, yes. You see, don't we love a bit of nanny state?
Oh, yes.
So this is the government warning anybody, football fans travelling over to the Euros this year, that German beer is a little bit stronger than what you would find at home, so go easy. And you know, when you sort of think, I'm sure that football fans or anybody
are
really
determined not to go easy.
Absolutely. If you're out and you're on tour, then you're going to have a couple of drinks. And I think that everybody knows that German beer perhaps is a little bit stronger than the stuff you have at home. That's the joy of having it.
The only thing is, when you look at the details of it, there are some German beers, apparently, that are 16%.
Well, that's like drinking a pint of wine or something.
Well, stronger than wine.
Stronger than wine, yeah.
Quite sherry.
So,
so on that front, don't go for the 16% stuff.
Well, exactly. I mean,
that would floor you.
It absolutely would. But I think that people should just be allowed to have what they like, and the government getting involved, like just with the NHS telling you not to eat an entire Easter egg in one go. Stop it.
An entire Easter egg. I mean, I don't know if I could manage both mouthfuls at once.
They're only tiny
They're
Easter
so
eggs.
small now, aren't
It's
they?
awful.
They are.
Nigel, this makes me laugh in the Express. Doctor Who may outlive the BBC. Well, considering he's many hundreds of thousands of years old already.
He's already done it.
According to the canon.
yeah, he's already achieved that. Well, this is Russell T Davies, who brought Doctor Who back to TV 20 years ago with the revival.
It will be, yeah.
And now he says the Time Lord, it looks like the BBC will disappear before the Time Lord does. The problem really is money at the BBC. So what he's saying is that he's going to have to go elsewhere with Doctor Who to make decent programmes.
Does he really think that? Because, of course, and it's controversial in and of itself, but the Doctor Who franchise is now paired up with Disney.
Yes, that's right.
So Disney must be funding part of it.
And they are. And so at the moment, if Disney pulled out, he says, well, we'd have to make smaller sort of programmes with the BBC, that he wouldn't actually stop it. But he thinks that now you're going to end up seeing Doctor Who on streaming services. And this seems to be the problem that BBC is facing at the moment, that they used to be brilliant at doing great dramas, and now you can see how they're cutting corners and how things are getting cheap. I mean, the one fabulous drama that came out a little while ago was SAS Rogue Heroes, which was beautifully acted. Everything about it was great, apart from the special effects. So when planes blew up, you could see the little balsa wood models, and it let the whole thing down. And that was because they couldn't spend that extra bit of money, which you can see now in all the streaming services. They spend millions on making those things right.
But that's a model. The streaming service model is one that works. It means they can plough huge amounts into these really high-quality dramas now.
And I think that's the way that the BBC is going to have to look at it, and it's something called co-production. So it was entered into to have Disney bring in some money so they could do the special effects properly. Otherwise, you go back to slightly wobbly sets.
There is nothing wrong with those wobbly sets.
and a sort of wooden TARDIS and things like that. So I think that's the future for the BBC. But the one
Should the licence fee go?
I mean, it's difficult. You need to think what it's going to be used for. And I think the BBC have made some massive errors in cutting things like local radio. I'm a big fan of local radio, and I think they needed to have kept to their original model of this is what your taxpayer wants, this is what you should fund.
And the BBC shouldn't do stuff that elsewhere does, basically.
All right, lovely.
Thank you very much, both of you. Let's look at the weather.